Okay, now we're going to move on to the major chord. Now, a major chord is comprised of notes, built on notes from the major scale. Now, what notes are these? They're always going to be the same three notes. The first note in the major scale, the third note in the major scale, and a fifth note in the major scale of whatever key you're playing in. In this case, we're going to do it in G today. In C. We're going to start on C because this is laid out for C major. Now you should know your fingering pattern from the major scale lesson. Otherwise, you really shouldn't be here just yet. Go back and learn the major scale fingering pattern. Okay, so once you got that, we're ready to move on. Okay, so now we got the C is the 1, 2, 3 is the E, and G is going to be the 5. So the C, the E, and the G. Those are the three notes, and the only three notes that are allowed to be in a major chord. Now, I'm talking a regular major chord, not... We're beginning here, so that's what it is. Three notes. All right, so basically, you got the C, the E, and the G down here. You see that? It's open note. Open string, I should say. But we're going to form our C major chord around this C note. So we're going to use this finger, the ring finger, curve it, press down, middle finger on the E, the brown note. Okay, now we're going to play this open note down here, the G. So we could stop right there. That is the major chord. We don't need to go any further. See, I'm playing all three notes. But it might not sound as full as you want it to. And it'll probably sound a lot better, and it should sound a lot better to you too if you add this other C note in here. Remember I said you could play one of those three notes as many times as you want? Well, you can add that C note in down there, and it'll make the chord sound fuller. See where I'm adding? Now when you do that, I'm able to play all 6 strings, because as you see down here, the open string here and the open string over here, those are E's. The E, what's that? That's the third note in the C major chord. Okay, you can play downstrokes, upstrokes, but you always want to play back here over the sound hole. I'm playing up here to show you downstrokes and upstrokes and what strings I'm hitting. Okay, so there you go. That's as simple as that C major chord. Now you can find a C major chord. You can base those chords around any C note you find. So let's just do this one down here. Make it real easy. Now you got a C note down here. You got an E note, that's the 3, and then G note over here, that's the 5. So you can make a C major chord can just be those 3 notes right there. Just pressing down on one finger and playing the bottom 3 strings. Okay? So that's another way to make a C major chord. Now it might not sound as full as you want. You might want to go back to the full C major, get some bass sounds in there and the whole deal. Okay, now let's take this same idea and change to another chord. It's not going to be the C major. We're going to do the G major chord. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to find the G note, and we're going to do the same major scale progression, or major scale that we do all the time. This same. Now that's the G major scale. See all I've done? C major scale, I just moved over one note. You might notice we're playing a different note here. Not to worry, because we're not going to mess with that today. But you get the 1, the 3, and the 5, the same as you find in the C major scale. But we're going to do the G, so the G, the B, and the D. Now those are going to be the 3 notes in the G major chord. So, that's how we form a G major chord. You can do it either way. Like I say, because there's your D. You can add that D in there if you want. Or you can drop it down, because you got a B down here, right? So I'm going to show you how to finger it. Okay, take your big finger, put it on the G, your index finger on the B. Okay, now these next two, the D and the G, those are going to be played again. as an open string, because remember the D is now going to be your 5. And then you can play either both of these strings down here, or just one, or just a G. So I like it like this. It sounds fuller. And basically what I'm doing there is I got my pinky finger on the G and my ring finger on the D. And strum the same way. You can strum all six strings. Now you can do that with any note on the fretboard. So just go practice, find some other places, make your chords. All right, just remember one thing is you follow this fingering pattern. Wherever you go. Okay, now hang around for the next lesson is going to be on the minor chord. Very similar, but different.